Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to tell you what are the top 10 tips of the Magic Kingdom. For those who don't know, the Magic Kingdom is the main park in Orlando. It has the most attractions and is the symbol of Disney. So if you want to know Disney, have that dream of knowing everyone in the Walt Disney World complex, the Magic Kingdom is the main park there, and that's where you have to start your trip. So we'll be very quick tips, useful, and it really will make a difference on your trip. So give us a like, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because that helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, Magic Kingdom is without a doubt one of the places in the world that has the most things to do and needs the most planning. The park there is gigantic. It's the park that has the famous Cinderella's castle, so it's there that you take those pictures that you will keep for life, and it has a lot of attractions. It started to grow a lot, and every year it's adding some attractions, some new area. So the main tip of all that you need to know before starting our list is that you need to plan very well to be able to see the whole Magic Kingdom. It's gigantic, there is a lot, but we'll be able to give you a lot of great tips that will make you get ready and make the most of your visits to this park, which is one of the most sensational places in the world. We've been there many times. We visited the Magic Kingdom more than 8 times, and the first time it was all too rushed. We couldn't see almost half of all the attractions that the park really offers, and that's when we started to put together a list of tips to make you, on your first visit, be able to see almost everything you want to visit there. So here we go, let's go for the tips. Well, the first tip is reserve a whole day for the Magic Kingdom, but a whole day indeed. From morning until night, you will spend the whole day inside and you will not get to see everything. If you really are a Disney fanatic and you want to see all the attractions in the park, reserve 2 days, because then you will get to see the whole Magic Kingdom. But believe me, in one day, with all the tips that we'll give you, with all the planning, taking the park empty, you can see almost everything. But to really see everything, to get into all the attractions, all the shows, to see all the musical parades, you have to take 2 days of your trip. There's no way. But we think that 1 day is more than enough. You can see the best of the park and we'll help you here. The important tip for you, this first tip, is to book a whole day. Wake up very early. The park usually opens at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, so you already have a schedule. Try to arrive an hour earlier because Magic Kingdom has the famous drop. What is it? The park opens, for example, at 9 in the morning. From 8 o'clock on, you can enter, you pass the turnstile, and you are on Main Street, which is the first area of the park in front of the castle. So the access to the other areas of the park are closed, but you can stay on this Main Street, which is very nice. You can take your pictures in front of the castle without many people disturbing you. You can take more beautiful pictures. You can have breakfast in the little shops and restaurants that are at the entrance of the park, because at 9 in the morning they release the entrance to the other regions, and then you start your itinerary and get out ahead of everybody else. You can take advantage of this first hour that ends up being very good and very empty, so that you can go to the main attractions. You have time to take all of your pictures there without people in the way, and you can have breakfast and then you go to the attractions. And the cool thing is that in this first hour of the day, there is an opening show before the park opens. Right in Cinderella's castle, there is a very cool show that they end up doing with Mickey and Minnie, and with all the characters. That is a show to start the day already in that mood with all that Disney magic. Many people end up not knowing this and end up missing it, so try to arrive an hour early before opening time, because it's really worth it. And an extra tip from this first hint about the time, try to arrive after the tickets are released and go straight to the Seven Dwarfs roller coaster. It's in Fantasyland, which is an area right behind Cinderella's castle, so go straight there because it's the most popular attraction in the park. It has a huge queue, sometimes up to 3 hours long when the park is empty. It's at least an hour and a half, so it's a time that you will have to spend. If you get in the morning, as soon as it clears, you rush there. Sometimes you get in 20 or 15 minutes of queuing and you will kill it, because it's the most popular attraction in the park. Maybe in the last months and years, it has been leading the queues in the Magic Kingdom, so you can be sure that you will save a lot of time on your day. And time is gold on this day in Magic Kingdom. You will see that timing is everything for you to do things. Then the second cool tip is to know exactly how the park works. Magic Kingdom Park is divided into 6 regions, 6 kingdoms they call them, so it's good to know where you are. They all follow the castle. The castle is the central point of the park and the regions end up being around it. A good tip is that everyone usually goes clockwise. Starting, you enter the main street, the castle is in front of you, the people start going left. Starting at Adventureland, we recommend that you go counterclockwise, which is what we always do, and it's up being a little bit emptier because it goes against the flow. You end up being getting the attractions that are a little bit emptier, and then at the end, when you get to the attractions that are people that the people went through first, the people are already arriving on the other side, so you end up getting the areas and toys a little emptier. So you start on the right, which is the part that has Tomorrowland, which is the area that has Toy Story. There is the Toy Story toy, which is very cool. There is Space Mountain, which is a real radical roller coaster. It's one of the strongest toys, maybe the most radical of the Magic Kingdom, so it's worth it. And there are some other cool toys, so start with the counterclockwise direction. You will gain a little bit more time there to do everything. So let's talk quickly about each area, just for you to understand and locate yourself, which is important for you to be able to enjoy your day there. There is Tomorrowland, which is the area on the right where some of the more futuristic space attractions are. There is Fantasyland, which is one of the most popular today, and it's behind Cinderella's castle. It's a new area it didn't have a few years ago. And there's a Beauty's Castle, which was built in the back. There's a Be Our Guest restaurant, which is the Beauty and the Beast one, and it's sensational. There are meetings with the princess, meetings with Ariel and the Little Mermaid toy, which is very cool. There are several attractions like the Seven Dwarfs roller coaster, which is very crowded, so there are a lot of cool things in Fantasyland. You will spend a lot of time there. There is Liberty Square, which is a square that reminds a little bit of the story of the United States. It doesn't have that many attractions. It's one of the areas that we like the least in the park because it's more for those who are Americans, who like this history thing, everything, but there's not much. It's a little bit more historical. There is Frontierland, which is very cool at the end of the park. It will be one of your last destinations. It has some very cool rides like the Big Thunder Mountain, which is a very cool roller coaster. The Splash, which everybody knows as the roller coaster where you end up getting wet. It has some really cool rides, and Adventureland has several other rides that you end up having fun with. It's very cool. The decoration of the place is very cool, and the main street, which is the area that we talked about in the beginning of the park, that main street in front of the castle that doesn't have any attractions, but it has many little shops where you can buy souvenirs. There's a store that sells Disney jewelry, Disney clothes, ice cream. There are several that sell ice cream, candy, you name it, several things. So these are the areas of the park. It's good to understand each one so you can locate yourself during the day so you don't get lost. The main attractions that if you can book the Fast Pass we recommend are the ones with the longest queues because you will save a lot more time and they are the most popular. So Space Mountain has a long line, Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, Peter Pan's toy, Buzz Lightyear's toy, which is from Toy Story, and the meeting with the princesses at the Fairy Tale Hall. These are attractions that have a long line, and if you can book them you will be able to save a lot of time in line that you would spend inside the park. That's our recommendation. Guys, the Disney application, you will use it a lot. You already use it from the beginning to plan with it. You can book the restaurants, you can schedule fast passes, see the map, queue time, everything. So it's very good during your trip. You will use your cell phone a lot. A tip we give you is to take the prepaid international SIM card, which ends up being cheaper than if you travel with your country's carrier and enable international roaming. So you end up paying less, you will spend much less, and it will be much easier. So you can buy, there are some companies that sell over the internet. You don't need to buy this chip in the United States. There's one that we bought and that we use it in our last trips. That's sensational. It's very good. The price is the best. They send it to your email. You buy it online and you receive the digital chip ready to activate in your email. And when you arrive in the US, you activate your chip and you will be able to use your internet calmly to search and do everything to organize your whole trip. That's it. You don't pay anything else for it. It's a prepaid chip. Once the credit runs out, there's more, no problem. You will have no headache with your phone bill. You can recharge if you want, but use it because the internet in Orlando helps a lot, especially in the Disney parks. I'll leave the link here in the description for you, along with all the other links that I'll mention. Fourth tip that we give you to save time, try to leave the meeting with the characters for the other parks, because all the other Disney parks have the meeting with Mickey and Minnie with the main princesses. Some have others. But for example, Epcot has a lot of meeting with almost all the princesses. It's the best park for meeting princesses, and it also has Mickey, Pluto, Donald Duck. Animal Kingdom also has them, and they are parks that are a little smaller in attractions, with fewer attractions than the Magic Kingdom. So try to leave a little bit the character encounters for the other parks and focus the Magic Kingdom more on the attractions, because there are a lot of them. If you want to do all the attractions and meet all the characters there, you're not going to make it. So give a priority to the attractions and leave a little bit of the characters for the other parks. What we recommend is there's a Mickey that's very nice to meet right at the entrance of Magic Kingdom, next to the Italian restaurant of the Lady and the Tramp. It's right at the entrance, and there is also the Fairy Tale Hall, which is a hall where the princesses are, so you can choose two entrances. There are two princesses on the side and two princesses on the other side. You choose which option you want, and usually there are very nice princesses. These are the two main character meeting points that might be worth it if you can get a fast pass, if you don't have a long line. But if you have a long line, don't waste time on that and leave for other parts. And people, quickly, if you have any question to plan your trip, no matter how silly, talk to us and we'll be glad to help you. If you want to make it easier, send us a direct message, add us on social networks at Pilorenzi, send it to us, and we will really help you answer your questions, see exactly how to organize your trip. No problem, we'll help you, and follow us there. We are always traveling around the world trying to show these tips in a very cool way, and our routine with our little one, which is a blast. Orlando is our favorite destination. We are always there, and we are planning to move there, so we'll have a lot of content to show you. Probably when you are watching this video, we might already be there, so follow us there because there will be a lot of cool stuff, especially from Disney. So follow us there, enjoy the content, and I'm sure we have a lot of things. Fifth tip for the Magic Kingdom: book a cool restaurant. What happens? All Disney parks have restaurants that you don't need to book, that are very big restaurants. You will find that you pay there at the cashier, get your food, and go to the table to eat. There are a lot of them, so those are the cheapest and quickest ones. People always go, take the food, and eat at your table. There's no service or anything very special. Now, there are others that you can book through the app beforehand, and they are more expensive, but not that expensive. For example, in one of these restaurants that you go to, which is more self-service, you end up getting your food and sitting alone. You will spend, for example, about $15 to eat. In a nice restaurant you book, it will be about $20 or $25 per person, and it's much tastier. Why? In the Magic Kingdom you walk around a lot, so in these restaurants you can sit down more calmly. You arrive and are served, you sit down, rest a little. The dishes are much more elaborate, they are tastier. The theme, each restaurant has a theme. There are restaurants that have characters. They are much more popular because they are some, so you end up finding some characters already. To have another cool attraction during your lunch hour, you can also take advantage of this time to take some pictures with iconic characters. So these are several advantages we have, like to book lunch or dinner. The other meal you end up having in a quicker restaurant. So if you can, get on the app, check it out. It's nice that in the Disney application you have filters. You can put the park, you put the Magic Kingdom, and a list will appear with all the available times. You can put in the future character dining. It's character dining if I'm not mistaken, and you can see that all the characters dining times. The coolest ones that we recommend at Magic Kingdom, there's the one that's out of the ordinary, which is actually Be Our Guest, which is the famous Beauty and the Beast restaurant. It's inside the castle. It's really recreating that scenario of the Beast Palace, so it's very cool. And Beauty and the Beast are there taking pictures with people, and it's sensational. The decoration, the experience, we found it to be one of the best and coolest ones there at Disney Orlando, and if you ask us, in the whole world. But what happens? It's very difficult to book. That's why we say try to make your reservation as soon as possible. You can make restaurant reservations farther in advance, so stay tuned to the application. Always try to get in, try to find the time, because sometimes people cancel or don't cancel. Look there, because to try the Be Our Guest is worth it, and it's a separate experience. Dinner is cooler and it's more disputed, but if you get time for breakfast, make sure you at least get to know the inside, because it's beautiful. It's one of the best restaurants in the world. And besides Be Our Guest, there is Cinderella's Royal Table, which is also very popular, which is in Cinderella's castle and has a meeting with the princesses, but it's very disputed. He never got it. There is one that we highly recommend, which is always on time and it's very good, which is Lady and the Tramp. It's called Tony's Town Square Restaurant, and it's very good because it has Italian food, pasta, spaghetti, and bolognese with squash. We really like the food there at the atmosphere. It's very cozy. There are no characters. There's the Tomorrowland Terrace restaurant, which is very nice. It's very big, and at night there's also a scheme where you can have some desserts, some things, and watch the fireworks show that happens in the castle. So it's very nice. That and other two that we usually book there too, which are not so popular, is the Plaza restaurant, which is very beautiful. It has a very nice structure. It's not so big, but the food is very good. And the Crystal Palace, which is a very beautifully decorated and has characters. It's the Pooh Bear, the Piglet, and the Tigger. They are the characters from the Pooh Bear gang. So these are the restaurants that we think are the coolest. But if you see any other, look at the style of food as well, because there are a lot of nice restaurants. But book there. I know that sometimes we are lazy, we end up leaving it to the last minute, but it makes a lot of a difference. Sometimes with a little bit of advance notice, you can book very nice experiences. The sixth tip, choose well the day you're going to visit. In the old days, the basic tips were avoid Sunday and Monday, which are usually the days that people arrive. People travel on Saturday or Friday and use Sunday and Monday to visit the Magic Kingdom directly, because those days are usually the most crowded. But nowadays, this has changed a little bit. What happens? There are a lot of events at Magic Kingdom, so here's our tip. Check the schedule on the app and see which days there will be events at night, because there are many days that the park closes at 7 o'clock at night because there will be an event and you need a separate ticket. So avoid those days a little bit. Try to get the days that the park stays open later, and avoid the days that have special events, which will usually be empty day. So we keep an eye on the application, which is already a good indicator for you to see which are the best days or not. And a tip is also the fast pass. You will see by the days that have fast passes more available are the days that are a little bit more free. So take a very popular attraction like the Seven Dwarfs roller coaster and check it out. If there's a day that's available, it shows that it's a day that's not so crowded and with so much demand. And check the season you're going, because usually there are special events during Christmas. There's Mickey's party, which takes place from November to December, and it's very beautiful. There's the Halloween party that happens from August to October, which is very nice, but you need to buy the special tickets to participate in this party. They usually start at 7 or 8 in the evening and goes until 11 at night, so they are separate events. But there are many events during the year, both at the Magic Kingdom and Epcot, so take a look at the time you're going to visit and see if there are any, because they are very cool. Seventh tip, stay tuned to the musical parades that have a lot of parades. Magic Kingdom is the park that has the most of these attractions. So these are attractions that during the day the characters are passing by. There are shows on top of the stage in the castle. There are shows that are all over the park. They go by with floats as if they were a Disney Carnival. You can't miss it. It usually happens around 3 in the afternoon, which is the main musical parade. Take a look at the time it will happen, because it's very cool. All the characters are waving, the princesses, Mickey and Minnie, all the characters from their gang, and they are very cool cars. The sound, the magic, it's a very nice atmosphere, and it's not that hard to see because they go all over the park. Any little place that you can see it and be well accommodated, you can see the characters very close. It's very cool. Besides that, there are several others. There's a tip: when you enter the park, there is the times guide with a booklet that has only the times of the shows of the day, and in the application itself you can also see the exact times and check. The app helps a lot. Then check the main stop. There's also Move It, Shake It, which is a dance, a street party that they call a very cool street dance with the characters, and several other parades that happens during the day, but it varies a lot from day to day. So come straight to the time of your day to see the parade. Number 8, a very nice tip that we like a lot, which is the ice cream tip. There's a very special ice cream parlor at Disney called Ice Cream Plaza. It's in the restaurant right near the entrance of the Magic Kingdom. The official name is Plaza Ice Cream Parlor. I don't know how it's pronounced, but people call it a lot of different ways. If you talk about Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, you can find your way around. They have several very good ice cream parlors, and their specialty is really the ice cream. They are differentiated, and lately the success is Mickey Sink. It's a gigantic ice cream that holds up to 3 people. We ate it, me, Lee, and Clarinha, and we ended up being very satisfied, and we even had some left over. So it's quite big, and you can take the sink home as a gift. So try to look for this restaurant in the afternoon if it's hot, or if you're tired, to stop and refresh yourself, because it's really worth it. It's super tasty. And now the 10th and last tip is the coolest attraction of all that you will see in Orlando. I have no doubt about that. Then comment with us if you went or not. That's the fireworks shows at the Magic Kingdom. It's a sensational experience that will really mark your trip. You will be thrilled for sure. Even those who don't like Disney very much, that Disney magic and cartoons, end up getting emotional. It happens every day at the end of the park before the park closes, usually at 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, but it varies. Magic Kingdom, everything varies in terms terms of time. So you just have to look at the application on the day you're going, and they put the schedule there nicely item by item. But don't miss it, there are 2 fireworks shows that happen at night. Usually the name changes, they leave 1 or 2 years of shows and then change, but usually the main show is the last one that ends up happening. It takes place in Cinderella's castle, so an hour before, up to 2 hours before, you will see that a lot of people already start to sit in the front, and it's very difficult to get a seat because they delimit the places that you can sit, because in the passage you cannot. So they put a tape on the floor. You will see that the employees are already orientating, and people sometimes arrive 2 hours earlier to sit and get a good place. So an hour and a little bit before the fireworks show, at the time it will happen, reserve your place, sit down and save it, because usually it's very disputed. A good tip for the fireworks show is not to get too close. Most people want to fight for a seat close to the castle, to be very close to the show, but no, it's not nice, because the show happens, the castle is very illuminated, and there are many fireworks that end up coming out from the side, so it ends up having a much bigger dimension than the castle itself. So if you stay close, you can't see the show directly. So our tip is to stay further back. Not only will it be a little bit emptier, but you will also have a much more beautiful view of the whole show, and the sounds, the music, they do it in a way that the whole park can hear. They have speakers all over the place, so don't worry, the experience will still be as intense as it was up front, and the view is much more beautiful. As soon as you enter the park, you have the main street, which is that little street, and then you enter a big circular area that has some squares, and right in front of the castle, our tip is to try to stay very far back, almost there on Main Street, where the first shops and restaurants are, because you will have a beautiful view. And another important tip, people, I know it's kind of bad, but our tip is a minute before the end of the show, when you feel that's ending, go to the back to the exit of the park, because it gets crowded. It becomes a gigantic procession, because everybody leaves at the same time, and there are only 2 ways for you to take the transportation to get to the parking lot, because you have to take the subway or the ferry to get to where your car is, and it gets crowded. You have to wait a long time. We have already sat there for more than 40 minutes waiting, and you are already tired, because it's the end of the day, your legs is already destroyed. So it's a tip that you will see that's worth it. When you see so many people go and you there in front managing to get ahead of them, it's worth it. So when the show is ending, go to the end of the park, to the entrance, to the gate, so you can get out and go straight to the subway or to the ferry, and see which one has a shorter line for you to go, because you won't regret it. You will miss a little bit of the end of the show, unfortunately, but it's worth it. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps us a lot. And the video was a long video because it's complete. Magic Kingdom is a place that has a lot of things, so you really need all these tips and all this information so that you can get the most out of your trip. And here below in the description of the video, I'll leave the link to all the sites and tools that we use to plan our trip, including the cell phone chip, the site that sells the cheapest tickets to the park in Orlando, and also the car rental comparator that will make you rent a car for a much lower price that you were already finding out there, because it's a comparator that compares in all rental companies and gets the best prices guaranteed. There is also a travel insurance comparator that's in the same scheme. There is a map of the best area in Orlando with the hotels, the best selected hotels for you to make your reservation. In short, it's a step-by-step guide with the tools we use for our trips, and that ends up helping a lot to save money and get the best experiences and services for your trip. And be sure to watch the other videos that are very cool about Orlando. There are a lot of cool videos, and the best one is the one on how to save a lot of money on your whole trip to Orlando. It's a sensational video that we put together that teaches you step by step from beginning to the end of your trip how to do it, all while saving a lot on everything you need to hire, a plan, also how to save a lot when you're there in Orlando. So I'll leave the video here along with the playlist that has all the other videos for you to watch. And that's it, guys. I hope you have a good one and enjoy your trip.